why? Why do we fail to do the things we are excited about? Why do we fail to stick with the things that we are passionate about? One of the absolutely most frustrating things is when you have a project or a business idea that you're super excited about, you're feeling kind of passionate about it, and the next thing you know, days go by, then weeks, then months, and all of a sudden a year later, you've done nothing to progress on that project, on that business that you were so excited about. And on that same note, I don't think anything gets me more disappointed in myself than when I get super excited about a business idea that I actually do start on, and then I kind of trail off and stop working on it, and a year goes by and there's another quarter or third or half finished project right there. I know I'm not alone in this, but I do think I was probably one of the worst offenders in the past. I've improved a lot with this lately. And I just wondered, what is it about an exciting business idea or project that makes it so many of us just don't actually do that thing, or we start it and don't finish it? You would think that the excitement would carry you through to actually finishing out that thing that you really want to do. So what gives? Why don't we do that? Well, in this video, I want to discuss a few of the reasons why I think that is, and then give some tips for just practical advice that has helped me to overcome that and start to actually focus and finish things. If you watch a handful of videos on my channel, you'll see that I'm probably one of the biggest advocates of giving yourself the freedom to focus on many different projects and not cornering yourself into just one thing. However, even with that being said, I still recognize that you can't get anything done, you can't accomplish anything notable without putting enough focus into a project to see it all the way through. And that's why this topic is so important. So why? A couple of the surface level answers that might come to mind for people is that it's because of laziness, or maybe there's a lack of passion or interest. And I won't rule these out, it's definitely possible, but I'm not going to be focusing on that. If you're like me, one of the biggest offenders is probably that you just have tons of ideas, because entrepreneurial minds are often coming up with tons of ideas. I had someone once tell me that I took that whole concept to the extreme, and he thought I was more like an inventor because just of how many ideas I would constantly come up with. The tough part for me is I think ideas are so exciting. I never want to get out of that mind frame where I'm constantly thinking of new ideas. But once again, they don't matter if you're not actually doing something. So sure, let yourself think of new ideas, but remember, you need to be able to choose one and focus in order to be able to accomplish something great. And then you can go on to those other ideas. There is another reason that I could be at play, and I think this is a big culprit for many, many people, and that is the fear of failure and the fear of rejection. And they are two distinct things. Oftentimes we forego starting a business or a project because we're afraid it's just not going to work out, and we'll put ourselves out there and it just won't happen, and then we'll look like a failure. And although we've become more accepting of the process of failing and failing forward and trying really quick and doing different iterations, I think that we still, as a society, really need to overcome the fear of rejection, because that's deep-rooted into each of us. I just listened to a book that was pretty life-changing for me and altered my mindset. It's called Rejection Proof by Jia Zhang. If you haven't read it yet, I highly suggest you do. But one of the main key takeaways that I got out of it is that you need to reframe rejection in your mind and realize that it's not an accurate reflection of who you are when you are rejected. It says a whole lot more about the person rejecting you, because it really just depends on them and their experiences and even how they're feeling that day and in that moment. So rejection is so feeble and can change. And I didn't think I was someone who's afraid of rejection, but reading that book made me realize that rejection is so much more than we think it is. And oftentimes it is that fear of a potential rejection that gets us from doing anything at all. So those are a couple of the reasons why you might not be starting on the thing that you really want to start. But that only helps us out so much if we don't know how to overcome that. So I just want to give you some tips that I've kind of used and I've been told and that have helped me. So I hope that they can also help you. Because truly, I love seeing people pursue their projects and their business ideas, because that's what makes a change in this world, and that's what helps people grow personally. That's why I'm so passionate and excited about business. Which brings me to tip number 1, see the vision. So if you've petered out on your idea that you were initially so excited about, step back and think about the circumstances that first made you think of that idea. See the vision of what you want it to be, because sometimes we get bogged down in the weeds and we just think about the work that we need to do, and that kind of makes us get demotivated. So think about the vision of what is the impact, and not just what is the impact of that business, but if you actually accomplish this and you make this business into everything that you want it to be, what will that allow for you and your life to then be able to do and focus on in the future? Sometimes it's about more than just this project. It's about what this project as a stepping stone gets you to, so that you can start living a life that fulfills you and that has you accomplishing just amazing things. Tip 2, cut the safety rope. So we often don't do stuff when we are in a place of safety and when we are in a place of comfort. I recently quit my job in order to pursue all of these different business projects that I want to do, as well as YouTubing it. I knew for a long time that this is what I wanted to do, but when I had other work that was paying the bills, I progressed so little over the course of a couple years. And now over the past month or two alone, I've created more videos, improved at that process, and started and saw through more business projects and online money making opportunities than I had in the last 4 or 5 years combined. Sometimes you need to cut the safety ropes and give yourself motivation to go all in, all or nothing. Now, obviously you have to decide what's right for you and your situation, but I'm just saying the more comfort and safety you have to rely on, the less motivated you're gonna be to just hit it hard and pursue your goals till they become a reality, until they become a success. Tip numero tres. Give yourself some accountability. If you're struggling to actually do the things that you want to do, and the only place that those ideas are living are up in your noggin, then you need to start talking to some people about those ideas. Give yourself accountability to work on those ideas. And that can come in many different forms. Maybe you need to get an accountability buddy that you have a weekly scheduled meeting with, and you're both talking about the things that you're going to do, and then reflecting on the things that you did. Beyond that, you need to start telling everybody about your project. Start getting excited and telling them and spreading the word, and not just telling them about the project, but telling them about the work you're doing on it. Tell them, I am gonna do this. The more people you tell, family, friends, strangers that you meet, the more you're gonna feel like, oh, okay, I better do this thing that I don't feel like doing in the moment, so I don't have to go talk to them. I don't have to be at the next family reunion and have them asking, hey, how's that going? And not be able to say, oh, it is awesome. You can also get some accountability by taking it to a public channel, such as YouTube. Maybe you want to start talking about it on a YouTube channel or on TikTok or wherever it may be. The point is, give yourself some accountability. You need it. We all do, because we're all so fallible as humans. And there will be days and weeks where you don't feel like working on your project if it's just you who knows about it. My final tip, and this is another powerhouse big one, you need to list out the next tasks that you need to do. I mean, make a list of like the next 5 to 10 things, just small things. Break it down into the basic tasks, and then actually schedule them. If you're not living on a schedule, if you don't create a weekly or monthly schedule and then a daily task list, however you want to handle it, but if you're not time blocking and telling yourself what you have to do today and what you have to accomplish tomorrow and the day after that, well, you're going to get so much less done than you would otherwise. You may even get nothing done. I can tell you from personal experience, if you start listing out those things you have to do based off of your overarching goals, and then you start putting them in the calendar, and at the start of the morning, every day, you start working on the first thing on that list and keep working on those items until they're done, you will be absolutely blown away by how much you can accomplish. And sometimes just getting in that rhythm and that motion is going to be the thing that helps you stick with your project. Because if you don't know what you're going to do and you make yourself expend mental energy every day trying to think of what you're going to do, you are going to wear yourself out and get nowhere. Save yourself the mental energy. Once a week, decide ahead of time what you're going to do for that whole week, so every day you can just work and you don't have to go through that hassle of deciding every single day what you're going to do that day. If you're not already doing these things, implement those tips now. They will help you, and I want to see the cool things that you do. I want to be blown away by the projects and businesses that my subscribers start and accomplish and see all the way through. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me how I can help you. I greatly appreciate you watching this video. I want to be of value to you. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. I will give you more practical tips and advice when it comes to starting and owning and running and managing businesses, because that's what I love to do. That's what I think makes an impact on the world. So let's get to it, and I will see you very soon on the next video, as well as in the comment section below.